Welcome to another edition of Ideas at Work and Beyond. Your host, Ivan Al-Sameh. I present to you the candidates for the Democratic Party here in Danbury. To my right is Miss Alina Abrantes. She is running for mayor of Danbury. And to my left is Ken Gucker, and he is running for the second ward. Okay.
That's correct.
Miss Alina, welcome.
Hi, Ivan. Nice to be here again.
Ken, welcome.
Nice to meet you, Ivan.
Okay. This is actually a very special moment for all of us here in Danbury because we have the opportunity to have a dialogue with the Democratic candidates the candidates who are going to challenge the current mayor and the current Republican candidates here in Danbury. I would like to start first with the candidate for mayor, Mrs. Abrantes. What I would like for you to do is for you to tell us something about you. Okay, we want to know you personally.
Okay. Well, first of all, I was born in Portugal. I came to the United States right before turning 5 years old. I came with my parents and my baby sister at the time. We moved to Danbury. My grandfather and my grandmother lived in Brookfield at the time. I went to the Danbury public school system. I graduated from Danbury High School. Then I went to the it was known as the Danbury Business Institute. I have worked in 2 prestigious law firms in Danbury. I presently work at Penny Payne. I am a paralegal by profession. Also, I have served in our community through various organizations. I have been a board of director for the Literacy Volunteers, for the American Red Cross. I was a Weeblo Scout leader with my sons when they attended Pembroke School. I was involved with the PTO. I was also one of the initial members who worked with Danbury Children's First when it was first initiated through our prior administration. My husband David runs the Portuguese radio station in Danbury. It's been on the air for over 27 years. It was something that he really wanted to start so that he could help some of the people remember the language and understand what was going on and assimilate to the community here in Danbury. And also I have 2 boys. I have a son, Daniel, who will be a senior at Fordham University this fall, and I have a son, Matthew, who is attending the University of New Haven, and he's going into his 2nd year, and he's attending school in the ROTC program. He received a full scholarship from the ROTC program and will be serving in the Army when he graduates high school.
Wow, thank you very much. Okay, Ken, can you please tell us something about you?
Well, I've been living in the Danbury area for the last 40 years. I've been a Danbury resident for the past 16 years. I've been very active with a lot of the issues I feel are being neglected in the city as far as overdevelopment and safety issues. I went to high school, New Fairfield High School, graduated there. I graduated from Westcon with a BA in graphic design in '87. Not sure what else to actually say. I'm married with 2 daughters, and I hope we can make a change.
Thank you. I would also like to say we have joining us is Miss Eileen.
Hi.
I can't pronounce your last name, I'm sorry.
Coladarsi.
I'm sorry?
Coladarsi.
Coladarsi.
Nice Italian name.
Okay, great. Great. Well, welcome on the show.
Thank you.
You are running for city
clerk.
City clerk. Okay. Tell us something about you.
Oh, I've been involved in politics since 1989. I've been on the Common Council for 9 years. I'm off now, but I've still stayed involved because I'm on the Danbury Democratic Town Committee. I've always been active. I've been on Danbury Youth Services. I'm on the Richter Association for the Arts. I'm now their treasurer. I'm always involved in community things. I've got two boys. One of them's married. They're both adults now, but I've been involved in their school projects, in their baseball, in all their sports. I've been in Danbury my whole life. I've married a Danbury resident, and I'm looking forward to serving the people again.
Okay. Now, I have a question for you, Ms. Selena.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please tell us a little bit about your history in the city? Not while you're running, but your history in the city and also in the community. Some of your community involvement, anything that are not involved with politics.
Okay. Well, I was on the Common Council, which was a position that is not paid. Members of the Common Council are not paid in the community. It is a volunteer service. You are elected. But I think that being on the council for almost 7 years was critical to what I learned about city government. I was put on several committees which were wonderful because it educated me tremendously. The the diversity group that was assigned to look into the police department and the fire department, because there was an issue as to how do we get other people interested in joining those two departments, and what could we do to promote people wanting to come in and participate and being part of that. And I learned a tremendous amount with the people that were on the committee with me. Most of them were non-political. I was the only person that was on the council as a representative for the council. And there were people from WestCon, there were different members of the community, a firefighter, a policeman, and what we learned and what we tried to do as an outreach into the community was a very favorable program. Also, I worked on a commission to try to find a location for a skateboard park, because the one thing that was occurring in Danbury was a lot of the children were going on top of parked benches and skateboarding off of the walls and the park benches, so there was a concern for injury with a lot of the youth. And we didn't have a place where they could literally roller skate or skateboard. So with other community members, we got together, we met several times, and we did come up with a location. It was also bonded on my last year when I was on the council, but it hasn't come to fruition at this point. But we did have an excellent location. The money was allocated for the skateboard park. Also, the literacy volunteers, that was a very important board that I was in. I was on the board of directors. I think it's very important that individuals learn how to speak English. It's a necessity in this country to be able to speak English, especially if you need to survive and communicate. I remember when we first came to the United States, I was a translator for my parents until they could speak enough English to be able to communicate. And it's tough for a child when they're young to have to communicate for their parents, depending on different situations and also the availability of that child. But my parents learned how to speak English. They became U.S. citizens, which was very important to me, because at the age of 14, I became a citizen because they had taken their citizenship papers and passed. I also learned a lot about American history, studying with them and teaching them the questions for the citizenship papers. But the literacy volunteers literally organized a program through companies where we went in and we would test the employees to see how much they knew in English, and then they knew what type of a program they could initiate in that business to help educate them and teach them so that they were able to continue to work and survive inside of that environment, which was, that's critical, it's very important. Also, I was on the board of directors of the Red Cross. The Red Cross is an outstanding organization in Danbury. It's an organization that has helped many people through whether there's a fire or whatever the situation is, but they are always there. They are always providing services, and it's a critical group within the community. Also, I had the opportunity to go in and translate for some individuals when there were fires, and there were situations where they needed to learn about the people that were in the buildings. So my ability to be trilingual is also very important, because I have access into different communities that people don't have access to, so that I can explain things and help them understand and help assimilate to our community, which is very important, because no matter where you go in the world, you do have to assimilate to the functions of that city, state, or country.
So the reason why I asked you that question is because I want to know, prior to your involvement in politics, if you really had an interest in the community. Did you go out there and provide your services to the people? That's the reason why
yes.
I wanted to know that. But I can see that you were well involved in the community?
Well, the one thing I'll tell you that we did, this was before I was even involved in politics or even considered doing it. There was a building, a large building on the corner of Town Hill Avenue and Liberty Street. That building caught on fire. There were people that lived in that house that were American, Portuguese, Spanish descent. And when that building burned, it impacted all of us. Our radio station used to be in the Portuguese American Club across the street from that building. And we had a lot of friends that lived in that building, and it upset us tremendously. And we did a fundraiser at the radio station for those members of that building, no matter what they were. And what people did and their outpouring to help all of those individuals, nobody ever asked what nationality they were, who they were, but we raised over $23,000, and that was years ago. And the amount of people that came and gave refrigerators, stoves, clothing, blankets, it was astounding. And that really made me understand what I needed to do and why it's so important to contribute to the community.
Okay, great. Ken, have you been involved in the community prior to you being nominated for the second ward?
I think my wife would say I've been over-involved in the community. Okay. After moving to Danbury, after growing up basically in New Fairfield and transversing through Danbury my entire life, we've seen the city grow. And after moving into Danbury, not happy with the way things are going, with our roads getting congested, and with more condo units being built where single-family houses used to be. My neighbors and I got together, and we started fighting these various projects. All volunteer time, all on our own, going down to City Hall, getting involved and getting to know everybody at City Hall, and going head-to-head with these hired guns from the attorneys and from the land developers. And I have to say we've done quite well. Before battling the things that are going on to the city as far as these, I used to be a volunteer for the Red Cross all through college. In my early days of after post-college, I used to be a volunteer for the Boy Scouts. I used to be an assistant scoutmaster for many years until family life took over. And I firmly believe that you need to get involved. You need to step up. The community is what you make of it, and if people don't get involved, your city government doesn't know what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. And the best way to do that is to start showing up at these meetings, showing up at these hearings. I mean, I'm getting known as the individual downtown that's fighting all the projects.
Good, good. Now, Miss Eileen.
Yes.
I know you were involved in politics.
Yes.
I want to know, prior to that.
Prior to that is when I was part of Danbury Youth Services. I was chairman for 3 years. I was fundraising chair for 2 years. And Danbury Youth Services used to be a policy-only board. And when I was chair, they started having their own fundraising. They had to add more money to their coffers in order to survive. So I was part of the movement where we've come up with the basketball games, against Police Against the Fire, and we've made it grow. And I just believe everything that we can do for the children of Danbury helps all of us, not just our children, because they are our future. And I also believe in culture and arts for the community, so that's why I got involved in Richter Association for the Arts. Right now, Richter is going through a transition time because the house that they use as their headquarters is deteriorating. It's getting very old. It was built in the 30s, and so it's part of Danbury's master plan. So we're working on that, and I'd like to get everybody out to see that, because that's another big fundraiser we're going to have to deal with at some point, and I don't really want it to come all out of city taxes. That would be nice if we can get some help, and even some state help would be great too.
Okay, before we get to the meat of, of this show, what I would like to do is we have the speech that Alina made and also Eileen made during the nomination. We're going to first show Miss Alina's speech. While they're getting that ready, what I would like to do is to ask all three of you, okay, you are taking a great responsibility here in what your family actually thinks of this. Let's start with you, Ken.
Well, it was partially my wife's idea for me to do this. She says, you know, if you're going to spend so much time going to these meetings and such, you might as well get involved and really make a difference. She feels that every time I come home from one of these events or a political discussion, she sees me happy and vibrant and really, you know, energized. So she would like to see that continue. So my family think it's great, and surprisingly, so do my Republican parents.
Oh, great, great. Okay, Miss Eileen.
I have the full support of my family. As you know, I've been involved in politics for many, many, many years. So my husband's used to me going to meetings at night and used to be being away. But this time, I've actually involved my family in my campaign. I've got my husband as my deputy treasurer, and I've got my son, who lives in Brooklyn, is my campaign manager. So it's going to be fun to go long distance, but thanks to email and internet, I think this is going to be the year that we have a new city clerk, and I have plenty of ideas to make this work.
Great. Now, Miss Selena, I want to know, how are you going to do this? First of all, professionally, you are a paralegal. And
a business owner.
You're a business owner, so after work, you can walk into your restaurant. You are there up until midnight. So that actually, it shows your work ethics. And you do have a family. I want to know, do you have the family support, and how are they going to support you if you become mayor of Danbury?
Okay. Well, first of all, I'll tell you, my family is very, very supportive of me running for mayor. They're very upset also in what's occurring in Danbury. My children will be at college. They will be coming home every single weekend to help. My youngest son will be at the University of New Haven, so he can come home for anything that's, any project or anything that we're doing. They have their friends involved. They have members of the high school that they were friends with when they graduated involved. They're getting a lot of young people to vote, which is very, very important. My husband is supportive. He just allows me to go and to do this, and whatever I need, he'll do for me. And also, he'll take up a bigger part in the restaurant because of the fact that I am running and I need to spend a lot of time campaigning. And being a paralegal, also, the two attorneys that I work for are very supportive, and they know that I would do a very good job running the city of Danbury, because when I do make a commitment to anything, it is 100%.
Well, I can see that based on your family-owned business, the restaurant, the radio station, and I can truly say that you are definitely a hard worker, and I know that you will do well.
It was the Portuguese work ethic that my parents and my grandparents brought me up with.
The first generation.
Yes, I am.
Exactly. Now, Miss Eileen, we're going to roll your speech first.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what I want to know is that you actually were the city clerk.
No.
Oh,
I was on the Common Council, and I was legislative leader for 2 years as well.
For 2 years, okay. Now, you rather run for the city?
Yes. I feel I've made my difference as a Common Council member. I've worked very, very hard, and I feel it's time to change roles. I feel the city clerk can provide the citizens of Danbury a way to know more of what's going on in the government. Right now, I feel many, many people in Danbury don't even know what a mayor can do, what a city clerk can do, even what their Common Council members are supposed to be doing. So I feel that as city clerk, I'm going to go out to the public, let them know what our government can do for them and how to make our government work for them.
Okay, well, if we're ready, I would like to see your speech. Okay, are we ready for the speech? Okay.
Next order of business is nomination of a candidate for city clerk, for which purpose I recognize Ellen Cook.
Eileen Caladarchi is hardworking, conscientious, fair-minded, and loyal. She always has a smile on her face. that is sincere and contagious. She is a devoted wife to her husband, Butch, and a loving mother to her two sons, Richard and Christopher, whom she raised while obtaining her degree from Western Connecticut State University. Eileen has been active in the community for decades in various roles. She served on the Danbury Youth Service Board for 12 years, 3 of which she was chairperson, and 2 of which she was fundraising chairperson. She served on the Common Council from 1989 to 1997, and she is currently treasurer of the Richter Art Association. Eileen also serves on the Democratic Town Committee for Ward 2. I could go on, but the list is too long. She is one of Danbury's hidden treasures, always there helping to get the job done and never looking for the glory, just concerned with what's best for her beloved Danbury. Those who know Eileen consider themselves lucky. Her family and friends consider themselves blessed. That is why it is with great pride that I nominate Eileen Caladarchi for City Clerk. I know she is the best choice for the job.
For purposes of seconding that nomination, the chair recognizes Kate Conchantone.
I am honored to second the nomination of Eileen Caladarchi for City Clerk. She is a well-qualified candidate who will be an asset to the City Hall. Please support Eileen and the rest of the Democratic ticket as we get back here in City Hall.
Town and committee members, all those in favor of nominating Eileen Caladarchi as our next city clerk? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Seeing none, the motion carries. Eileen, you're our nominee.
Thank you all so much. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ellen Cook, thank you for the very, very kind words. I'd like to thank everybody here. My family have been wonderful in all the things that I do. They're always behind me. I look forward to serving the people of Danbury as city clerk and working with the county council to make our Danbury government truly accessible. My service on the council and with various state and local agencies have prepared me for this elected position, and I will work hard on the campaign trail and after my election to bring the government to the people where it belongs.
Thank you very much to Hat City Blog, Al Robinson, for allowing us to use this clip. What we're going to do is this. We're going to engage the candidates, but we're going to take a break. We're going to go to the news, and after the break, we're going to show Alina's speech, and that's when we're going to have a dialogue with her because we want to know exactly what her platform is and her ideas for the city of Danbury. Thank you.